Here. You can see the shingle tabs. There's the roof. There's a lot of these spotlights. They're wired very incorrectly. It's dangerous. Wire splices without wire nuts. It's all taped together. This is a nice patio door, which is newer. We'll go to the basement and show you some issues down here. Here's the handrail. It's a block foundation. It's got a lot of cracks in it. You can see moisture's come in at the grade level. This is the wall alongside the driveway. There's not a musty odor down here, and it's actually pretty dry today on this rainy day. You can see where this concrete block has had a skim coat on it, but there's some bowing in this wall, if you can see that. There's actually two diagonal cracks as well, here and here. What that tells me is that there's some settling in this corner. Here's the water meter. The water service is actually lead. Here's the gas meter. And right here, there's some displacement of the concrete block. Yet another foundation issue. Wouldn't be a major deal if that was in and of itself. But now we're looking at two walls affected. But it gets a little more problematic. Here's the coal bin that I spoke about. This is the door for that. You can see, and also the slab, large cracks, about 1-inch cracks. They've been filled with silicone, but it keeps separating further. This slopes in such a degree, I don't know if you can see that in the video as well. But this is where the problem began. This is the hillside of the house. Here's the main plumbing stack. That was replaced. This is a column of the house, and it seems like this is where all of the weight of the structure is focusing. You can see how a crack comes off of each corner. And it's just pressing down. This is where all the weight is. And it's actually off center as well. So back to the coal bin. The door doesn't open all the way because of this large crack. It's about a 1/2-inch gap here from the upper part of the slab and the lower part where it's sinking away towards the hill. Here's the furnace. It was installed in 1985. It's a Rheem. It works well. I don't know if you can see the daylight through the cracks in the block. Also, large cracks are displaced. I mean, this whole chunk of slab is upheaving and heading towards the hill. downhill. More large cracks. Displacement of the blocks. Penetrations in the foundation here. There could be vermin entry just due to that. But really, I think that's the least of the concerns. You can see where some of the slab was replaced and new concrete was poured. It was likely whenever they redid this plumbing stack. You can see at the very bottom that's PVC. So there was an issue with the plumbing, this cast iron. Either it was supporting some of the weight of this house, of this side, and actually crushed it, where it rusted away, or there's a major clog. Who really knows? It's really unable to determine that. See some more plumbing here, all redone. This is the bathtub. You can see some of the subfloor. There's some water marks. That's pretty typical, but there's no wood rot. Subfloor here. The ductwork for the furnace. It's insulated. It's not the proper insulation they use. They actually make a different kind. This is just regular old bats insulation that you would use in an attic or in walls. You can see inside the ceiling here some old knob and tube wiring. Some cracks in and of itself, not major, but when you add that with the sloping of the slab and the cracking and the other two walls, that's an issue. So, and then finally, that's wall number 3, and then wall number 4, there's some displacement of the block here. And it's kind of misleading, but this paneling is actually where part of the foundation wall that juts back. And then you can see through this door here, again, it doesn't open because the structure's not square. You have some more bowing of this foundation wall. So this lower half below this crack is leaning in. This half is leaning out. It's putting pressure on this wall, and that's why you have the displacement of these concrete blocks. So that's 4 foundation walls that are cracking, bowing, offset. Here's the kitchen stack. You can see there's some rust has been leaking. They used tape to fix that. The water is off here, so I'm not able to tell for sure if there's any leaks. You can see the old knob and tube wiring. In and of itself, knob and tube wiring isn't a terrible thing, but you're starting to get degradation of this insulation. So I'll show you the electrical service panel at the far end. Here's where all that knob and tube wiring comes into this sub panel. You can see the insulation is breaking away. I mean, that's when it starts to become a fire hazard. It's done properly. These 3 circuits come together to feed these 2 or 3 Romex circuits right here. that comes into this electrical panel. There's tons of room to add on to this electrical panel. It was redone in 1986. You can see that date there.